Let's talk about this. Dallas Cowboys news and information around the world coming to you from Law Nation Studios. Yours truly, Law Nation. Sports, be sure to hit that like, share this content, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Appreciate you, C. Nick. That means let me know you got part of the notification squad in the house. Jameson, Taylor, appreciate you. We building the plane while it's in the air. It's crazy, baby. It's crazy. But it's time to go. Let's rock. Yeah. Let's see. Ain't no party like a cowboy party. I believe those people were not lying. They were not lying, baby. They were telling the truth. 5, 4, 3, 2, yeah. What's up, everybody? I cannot believe it. Oh, I cannot believe it. All right. As the room fill up, appreciate you guys. It's crazy news. It's crazy, but it is what it is. When I heard the people on the radio and everybody else out there saying that, hey, you know, this wide receiver class is deep. This wide receiver class is deep. I said, oh, Lord, Amari. No, Amari Cooper's in trouble. Trouble. And then when I heard the other article and reports out there that, you know, it was a clean break of the ACL tear, or clean tear, not break, but clean tear of the ACL of one and only Michael Gallup. I said, oh, I knew that they was going to try to do the situation, whereas, you know, less is more. and paying somebody that's really, that we drafted, holds a louder noise than somebody that was picked from the outside, right? You know, some people, you have kids or what have you, and you know, if there's any stepchildren out there, the red-headed stepchild, as most people would say, you know, they tend to get their food last, right? You know, the bloodline get the food first. But they say, no, we all love them the same. But we know you might love them the same. But when you take them over to grandma and them house, it's like, nah, grandma gonna be like, that ain't none of mine. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on with Amari Cooper. And $16 million that the Cowboys are looking at it, they sitting there like, you know what? We could take that money and dangle it somewhere else. My only problem to all of this Cowboy Nation is that, for one, we know we're not going to dance in the free agency. That's been the model here. And there's nothing wrong with the way they've been doing it, believe it or not. They're not going to dance heavy in the first week, right? But when they do decide to dance, right? When they do decide to put on those slippers, and when they do decide to move around just a little bit, they tend to go crazy with it. And the Cowboys have not been doing that since Brandon Carr, right? Oh, that Carr. And they traded up in the first round to get a Mo Claiborne. Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember? Do y'all remember the time? But neither here nor there. The Dallas Cowboys are placed with this situation that now all of a sudden, Amari Cooper is public enemy number one. And when you pull up any, like, let's say, for example, I appreciate y'all for jumping in, but let's say, for example, if I go here, let me just type in Dallas Cowboys news, And we're going to see Cooper. We're going to see US Today releasing Pro Bowl All-American Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is cut, by the way, with the question mark. I can only imagine if Amari Cooper was at the game, the Mavs game, and he was sitting there like, hey, man, why do you guys attacking me like this? And that's what's going on. Cooper will try to trade. Cowboys will try to trade Amari Cooper, expected to release wide receiver if no deal is reached. Excuse me. Kelvin, who wrote this, excuse me, but let me educate everybody. Why would a team sit there and look at that contract and say, okay, yeah, I'll trade for that, when they already know the FBI done kicked down the door. FBI, open up! Yeah. Wrong account, baby. Shot him down. You can shoot that one down, Kevin, that wrote this beautiful article. Because why will I attempt to get in line for the trade situation? Because Amari Cooper is a veteran status. And when you get cut as a veteran, you don't have to go through waivers. You can pretty much pick the team that you really want to go to, by the way, Shout out to you, Sally. And shout out to you, Cam, on the Facebook. That's the information I'm sprinkling. As my guy, Kwame Brown would say, some of mama's cooking. I'm sprinkling some of mama's truth over here. Open up wide and take some of this truth. The Cowboys done allowed his name to be smeared, sullied, castrated almost, and denigrated, and put out there to the four corners of the universe, or multiverse now, since we know it's multiverse, about how they don't want him. So now you can just sit back and just relax. It's about speculation. Yeah. Now, Andrew White, you're right. It's still speculation for the nation, right? And let's listen in to what Andrew has said. Andrew White. Shout out to you on the Facebook group. I love it. I love all of my co-hosts over here because all of you guys are hosting with me. I love it. But here's the thing. If you have a child out there that's getting picked on, ridiculed, spit upon, then when you going to step up and say, hey, get your hands off of my child? I know Natasha in the chat won't allow that to happen. I know Natasha will not allow somebody to talk about her loved one. And this is what the Cowboys are doing. They're allowing this stuff to go through. It don't take them long to put a camera in the face. Matter of fact, they can do it with a flip phone or a cell phone. Well, I don't know if flip phones had cameras. I think some of those flip phones did have cameras. They would have been just like this. We're reporting live from the Star in Frisco or from the Florida Keys, wherever Jerry Jones is at, or John Stephen Jones, or Charlotte Jones, or Jones Jr. All they have to do is come out and say, hey, enough. That's my son. Y'all stop talking about him. He's silver and blue. We got a little hiccup here and there about contract, but for right now, he's with us. They did not refute that at all. They're allowing everybody to pick on him and chew him up and spit him out like the world will do to any of you guys. Right? And that's what's going on right now. But here's the situation, this scenario, Cowboy Nation. We've been down this road before. We've seen it happen before, over and over and over again. Nobles roared, he says, that's my son. Yeah. Even as mad as Mufasa was over Simba, he didn't allow his frustrations to get that long, right? He said, Simba, you deliberately disobeyed me. And worst of all, you endangered Nala's life. And then Simba said, but Dad, I wanted to be brave. You remember that movie many years ago. And he said, son, I'm only brave when I have to be. I'm putting the movie back on y'all mind, baby. He said, Dad, I wanted to be brave just like you. And he said, son, I'm only brave when I have to be. But I was scared, basically. But that is the situation. They threw Amari Cooper out there to the hyenas. They see the hyenas eating at him, picking a part of him. They are not coming for his rescue at all. They ain't doing none of that. Come on, baby. They just sitting back. They just letting this kid get castrated in front of everybody. And I cannot believe that you guys are following along with it, but it is what it is. So with that being said, and remember who you are. Jerry Jones and other news, I hope all is well with Jerry. And let me see if we can do this right quick. Let me pull it up. Got to hide my IG when I pull it up because you never know what IG is going to pull up on your first screen there, And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did kind of hit that one. All right, so let me put it back up there. Because, you go to IG, you never know what you're going to get. All right, so shout out to IG, by the way. All right, so Cowboys owner Jerry, I should have put Wayne and things, but that's John Machota. He reported Jerry Jones is not meeting with reporters in Indianapolis because of minor medical issues. Let me go with my... Let me hit it again. Now y'all do it with me. Now y'all do it with me. but neither here nor there. We hope all is well with Jerry. And they said minor medical issues. Now, I don't know what it could be, a hangnail for crying out loud, right? I mean, it could have been this synovial fluid in his knees. I was watering the lawn the other day, and I'm not as old as Jerry, right? I was watering the lawn because I got this new grass and I'm trying to keep it green. In Texas, I got to get ready for April so that the grass can be really good. So when the HOA come around, they can look at my lawn and say, hey, lawn, you water your lawn. And I got the water hose. I said, I'm getting old a little bit. My knees buckle on me a little bit. That could be minor, right? Called in for the rest of the day at work. I said, yeah, I can't come in tomorrow. My knees. The synovial fluid ain't the same no more, It could be something like that, or it could be something serious. So this is what I'm going to tell you guys with John Machota when he put this out there. And then Calvin Watkins. Calvin Watkins put out there, Jerry Jones, or Wayne Jones, is also handling some NFL business involving the commissioner, Roger Goodell. A source said that also prevented him from attending Indy. Let me hit it one more time. Now, with that being said, Cowboy Nation, before we get into the other conversation that rules the nation, which one is it? And is it a hangnail? Is it synovial fluid? Do he got a little cough? He's trying to give it over there to him. I'm going to make sure that Roger Goodell know I can cough a little bit, right? Let him know. Let me squeeze the palms of Roger Goodell and let him know that these aficionados, they taking stuff too far now, man. Could it be that? All speculation for the nation. But I come here to tell y'all beautiful people that's listening and watching right now, if we had a seasoned PR guy, none of this stuff would have hit the way it hit today. The seasoned PR guy would have got with all of the people that try to leak this information about Jerry Jones' minor medical situation for the nation and said no. The seasoned PR guy, that broom that been around the corners, right? You know, that seasonal guy would have been already said that this would have been in the news that everybody heard first. Jerry Jones is meeting with Roger Goodell, and that is the reason why he's not in Indy. Point blank, period. So be sure, Cowboy Nation, and I ain't trying to be conspiracy law over here, but you know how this thing goes. Be sure, this season, more than any season we witnessed with our eyes, we will see more and more bizarre stories like this, by the way. We'll see more and more. Appreciate you, Jameson Taylor. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, Leon Lewis. Thank you for jumping in. All right, so let's get to the creme of the information today. I really appreciate you guys. And also, let's put our prayers together for Jerry Jones. If it's something major, you know, they never will say it's something major. They will always say it's minor, right? And I think that there's the power of speaking things into an existence there, the power of your mind, right? And that goes a long way too, Cowboy Nation. I'm a firm believer of that. I think that we can speak things into existence if it's determined from he that's upstairs, right?
And wideouts. On his overall board, Jeremiah has 6 edge rushers in his top 20. McShay has 5. Matt Miller of ESPN has 6 in his top 20. And McShay said, put this on the record and play it back for the next 20 years. With wide receivers, this draft is loaded, and we're going to see a massive amount every year. So that's McShay hyping up the receivers, and he, along with Matt Miller and Daniel Jeremiah, all having 5 to 6 edge rushers in their top 20. That could help out the Cowboys at 24, depending on what happens with Tank and Randy Gregory.
No doubt.
So what they're saying is that this particular class, and it's working out, believe it or not, so that everybody won't think that this is us being in a bad spot or a moment right now, but this is actually working out to our favor, like Ripley's Believe It or Not. Because although I'm going to tell you guys, I'm looking at this combine and that O-line, Zion Johnson, I'm sitting like, wow. And some of the other guys I know we don't have a chance to go draft as it relates to offensive guards or what have you, or tackles. And Bernhard Raimann, you know, shout out to those who watched that film. He may be 303 or 304 pounds, give or take. And I said it may be some growing pains. I retract my statement. That dude bench pressed 31 times. I don't think Connor did that with the 225, right? If you kick him inside, because he's projected to be a tackle, but they may kick him inside. These boys are looking pretty good. But it's working to our favor because of the fact that now we can look into this thing and say this right here, Cowboy Nation. If we need NEED, edge guys, because we're not re-signing Randy Gregory, which I presume that I think that they will do. If we need edge guys, this draft is looking pretty good. If we need wide receivers, and I'm not saying that the Cowboys should draft with the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Treylon Burks. You know, I'm not saying that that's the situation. But it seems as if, though, this particular draft is heavy on edge guys as well as wide receivers, right? So I just saw Bernhard. Shout out to you, Thomas. Appreciate you. You just saw him run a 40. Well, he ran like a 5:13 or something like that. Yeah, but those boys are looking good. All of those, look, big man don't supposed to move like that. And I'm looking at some of these guys. I'm sitting here like, wow. Let's see. Let me pull it up right here. Look at it. Let's see if I can pull this up right quick. Let me just pull it up. O-line. Yeah, 4.8. Trevor Penning. Joker ran a 4.91. 6'7". Flying. You don't supposed to move that fast, bro. Chris Paul, I guess, guard from shout out to Chris Paul. But you looking at all of these guys. Hey, 4.93. I mean, from North Carolina State, NC State. Charles Cross. When I saw Charles Cross move, I said, my, oh my. The way he's moving, like all of those parts are still staying together. And I'm sitting like, oh my gosh, man. If they pull him, let's say, for example, he goes to a team, Charles Cross, and I know this is just the 40s and these are not official times yet. But they're still moving fast, baby. And if I'm a safety, let me be a nickel corner, I'm sitting there like, hey, you want me to run through that? Sheesh. Shout out to the Thomases, man. But Charles Cross, baby. Oh, Ed Ingram, man, all of those boys, they moving. Anybody in these sub-5, and you pull these boys, man, you sitting there like, man, big boys don't supposed to move like that. And as a DB, you sitting there like, hey, hold on, coach. You got me to run through that? Let's pull up. Let's pull up, old boy. Let's pull him up, man. 3'10", 6'4", 4'9", Come on, baby. Icky. And then let me pull up Cross, Let me pull up Cross right quick. Charles Cross. We don't even have a chance. We probably don't have a chance to. Where he at? He ran off somewhere. He runs so fast, he moved off on this list. Why he ain't on this list no more? What I done did wrong? Okay, where he at? I can't read it no more. He was up there somewhere. Yeah. The system hating on me. But I guess I got to do like, oh, that's why. That's why he ain't up there no more. Bam. Here we go. Can't stop a tank with no key, baby. Get out the way. Here we go. Yeah. 307, 6'5". What he did, a broad jump, 111, okay, 1112. Look at him running. Big boy don't supposed to run like that, baby. I mean, I'm moving out of the way. Switch! I'm a linebacker. Mike, get over, Mike. Oh, my gosh, man. You got to make a business decision. All right, so as you guys filling in, appreciate you. Be sure to hit that like. Share this content.
It's one of the most important positions of the field. You absolutely could use a really good one there. And if it's a deep class, absolutely. Plus, depending on what they're going to do, they're going to know exactly what they need. They're going to know if they need Michael Gallup, if they need Amari Cooper, if they need Tank Lawrence. They're going to know exactly what they need.
Number 3.
All right, so here's my thoughts on all of this, Cowboy Nation. Here's my thoughts on all of this. Appreciate you, Peter. Thank you for sharing, man. I love it. Y'all let me know when y'all sharing. Y'all let me know, man, because that counts, man. That's sharing. That sharing is caring, and that's letting people know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Shout out to you, Lee Grant. Now, if you are a Dak Prescott apologist right now, and you tired of the Dak Prescott slander from the 4-ladder and 3-ladder network, I'm going to ask you guys to leave the room right about now. Because the audio, and I didn't hear all of it, I just heard pieces of it. And it made me frustrated and angry. It made me really angry about the audio that I'm about to play. And I get it. We have not won a Super Bowl in 27 years. And I come here on this seat, and I sit here and I talk to you guys about this team, and I tell you guys what I hate, what I don't like, and what I love, and what I do like to see year in and year out, right? And I think that from a guy that's on social media, I think that I'm fair and balanced. But some people have selective hearing, right? But what these guys are about to say really, really got me for a second. But let's listen in to this right here. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you for joining this episode. But let's listen in to these boys on this one.
I always make this little joke to tick off some of the Dak heads. I call them Silver Spoon. It's not silver and blue. It's Dak Silver Spoon Prescott. He's never gone without in his NFL career without nice weapons. And I guess you could say CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, if you retain Gallup, are still not going without. But I've always felt like Dak has been surrounded with the best of the best ingredients.
Except for year 2 and 3 when he was surrounded by garbage.
Well, all I can remember is the weapons before they traded for Amari.
Yeah, they were garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate for him because that was in his second year and his start of his third year. And you're asking a quarterback who was...
But Dez got hurt, right?
I mean, yeah, he was also washed anyway. But yes, he was yeah.
So now, I mean, that's my worry. I don't believe that Dak Prescott can carry above average weapons to contender status. I don't believe it. I've never seen him do it, and I don't believe he can do it. I hope to be proven wrong. Now, maybe Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb both elevate. Maybe CeeDee becomes that guy that we wanted to see more of last year, and Gallup, takes over for that true number 2. Mm-hmm. And they're more than fine, but that's my worry right now.
All right. Silver Spoon Dak Prescott, right? And he must carry this particular team, whether it be, with the everything on his back, everything in his lap. It's all up to Rain Dakota Prescott to win the Super Bowl because he is given the optimum amount of weapons year in and year out. Now, I can go to the 80s or the 90s, and I can say, well, Joe Montana is really great, right? But so is Jerry Rice. And that's the 49ers perspective of it, right? Or I can look over to Troy Aikman, who got a cannon for an arm, accurate than most. And I can start to think, dang, what did Troy Aikman look like without Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin? Is that a spoon? That's silver? Right? And we can go all the way back to the great Roger Staubach. It wasn't like he was throwing it to no names out there. Can you guys help me out? And think to this right here and say to yourself, are you saying that we would have won the 5 Super Bowls before we won a Super Bowl if we had average at best wide receivers? Or are you saying with everything, what's going on with my audio? Is too loud? Let me know if my audio is too loud. Yeah. Shout out to you, Leon Lewis. But are you guys saying to yourself that Troy Aikman would have won those rings without the playmaker? Or are you saying that Troy Aikman would have won it without an Emmitt Smith? And they had Moose. I don't want to discount Moose. You find it need to be louder? Okay, my bad. All right, let me turn it up a little bit. So what I'm trying to say is this, Cowboy Nation, please, 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 do not fall into the traps of saying that, hey, your quarterback can't carry a team. Newsflash, no quarterback can carry a team. None. I'm trying to look for in the NFL history to find that one quarterback that carried everybody. Yeah, it's bull sugar, So that's what I really want that narrative to be thrown away. I want it to be dismissed. It's a team effort. Yeah. Now, Michael Jordan is considered the greatest of all time in basketball in a whole different sport. But Michael Jordan, how many rings do he have without Scottie? Right? And, of course, we know that Michael, he transcended the basketball organization, right? With his skill set, his jazz, his everything. And a lot of people tune into that sport just to see Michael Jeffrey Jordan perform. Michael Armstrong says, appreciate you. Shout out to the Michaels, right? Has Dak underperformed? Hell yeah, he underperformed. Right? Because a lot of people look at this and say, okay, well, Law is only saying that Dak Prescott is faultless. Like he never had a bad game. And it's everybody else's fault but his, right? It's Amari Cooper's fault. It's the offensive coordinator fault. It is Ezekiel Elliott's fault, but it's never Dak Prescott's fault. And that's bullshit. That's flat out bullshit. Because there's times and moments that you can look at it and say, hey, when your quarterback is down, you can do like this and see that your running back took over the game. In the last 2 years, name me one game that your running back took over the game, that it was dominant. It just seems as if though anything that you can look at, your running back just won the game for you. I'm waiting. And I'm not putting all of the onus, you know what I'm saying, on Ezekiel Elliott to win you games. It's a team effort, by the way. But what I'm saying is, Cowboy Nation, with all of the passion that I have in my heart and fiber of my being, is that the Cowboys media need to understand and know football, that it takes everybody, not just one. It takes a complete team. We talk about this all the time. When did we walk into a game and we said, you know, based upon our coaching staff and our philosophy, baby, I know it's any given Sunday, but man, we're going to drop a hell of a good game plan. We don't have that advantage here. Bradford, yeah, Dak didn't create 14 penalties. Yeah. 2 years ago, Tony Pollard against the 49ers, you know, he took over. I love to see that. You know, maybe Barry Sanders took over a few. Connor Williams and Chaz Green look like a decent offensive lineman. Why is Amari Cooper the scapegoat? Because of $16 million. That's why he's the scapegoat. You know, I heard an excerpt from ESPN. Stephen A. Smith, and he was saying that the onus is pretty much on Amari Cooper. And of course I get it, right? You know, people got things to sell. People got clicks for people to click on. Here it is right here. Let me see.
Fan of Amari Cooper as a person, and I think he's a hell of a player, hell of a wide receiver, hell of a route runner. But in all seriousness, the money that he's being paid, you got to show up in big games and show out. He was not that dude. Yeah. You got to be one of the best receivers in football when you're on that field. He was not that dude. And there were too many instances that we were able to point to. And the playmaker himself, Michael Irvin, brought that up, where the stars got to show up. And Amari Cooper didn't show up like a star. He wasn't a scrub. He didn't embarrass himself or anything like that. But you expect more when you're that guy commanding that kind of salary.
It's great, and I'm using the word loosely. It's great, and I shouldn't even have to use it loosely. That's the playmaker, Michael Irvin. As great as he is, or was, and he still is. He look like he can run now. He would not be in the Hall of Fame. He would not won a Super Bowl if he didn't get the targets. You got to throw him the ball. And hear me out, Cowboy Nation. Hear me out. Kellen Moore, if you pick him up and drop him off in 19 of 89, and he is your offensive coordinator with this particular team, and you try to run the concepts that he's running now, it would not work. Troy Aikman and Kellen Moore would have been in a fight, and he would have been the boy crying to his mommy and daddy, saying that this life is not the life I want, calling plays for the Cowboys because these guys are bullying me, and I can book that one. You know, that's just the reality of it. You think that Michael Irvin stabbed, hear me out, a guy in the neck because he thought that, hey, when I come in to get my hair cut, nobody should be sitting in the seat. I'm the playmaker. That seat belongs to me. And by that guy refusing to get up and move out of the way, give me those scissors. You think that there would be a game plan designed and developed for Michael Irvin to get 2 to 3 targets a game? Come on, baby. You know, and that's just the reality of it. What we're literally saying, and I'm not saying that Kellen Moore is what's on the bottom of most people's feet that's walking around the city. But what I'm saying is that you guys got to understand and know and realize that we took a less experienced guy who was, put it like this, just off of GP. For those who don't know what GP is, general principles, just off of general principles. You took a guy that got his job taken from him by the quarterback that's the starting quarterback now. Hear me out, and I'm going to get to your super chat. And make him your quarterback coach. And then for the next year, elevate him for a rapid promotion to be the offensive coordinator because he didn't have the level of experience. But from hearsay about his playbook that he used to do in Boise, make this make sense to the franchise $6.5 billion earnings per year organization. I believe that's per year by the Cowboys. Or it could be overall value. To be the offensive coordinator and expect no growing pains? Come on, man.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Chuck says if we cut Cooper, we just lost the division and any chance of the playoffs. Yeah, I'm not finna put that on us because some things can happen. You know, it's a twofold situation, Chuck. But I appreciate you for your donation there. But I'm not saying that the Cowboys are doomed. I'm not saying that we are doomed without Cooper. But I'm saying that the flow and the flavor of how they doing this, Cowboy Nation, no other organization do this. You did remove all of his trade value. Shout out to you, Greg. Shout out to you, John, on the Facebook page. So, Dak Prescott. Let me see if I can go back to this for what they said. Let me go back to the audio. And trust me, I'm not coming at these boys on 105.3 The Fan. But let me go back. Let me just rewind all the way back.
The best of the best ingredients.
Let me go all the way back.
Of nice weapons. And I guess you could say CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, if you retain Gallup, are still not going without. But I've always felt like Dak has been surrounded with the best of the best ingredients.
Except for year 2 and 3 when he was surrounded by garbage.
Well, all I can remember is the weapons before they traded for Amari.
Yeah, they were garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was unfortunate for him because that was in his second year and his start of his third year. And you're asking a quarterback who was
But Dez got hurt, right?
I mean, yeah, he was also washed anyway. Yeah. But yes, he was yeah.
So now, I mean, that's my worry. I don't believe that Dak Prescott can carry above average weapons.
All right. So I want you guys to understand this, okay? 16, 17, 18. One thing that I can tell you, in 2018, what changed? We started off 3-5, right? And then they went and got an Amari Cooper, right, with a draft pick, right? They gave up their first-round draft pick, who I believe the Raiders did with their first-round draft pick, went and got a Jonathan Abram, I think they went and got him or somebody like that, a safety that'd probably be on the streets now. The thing is, Cowboy Nation, that in that course of time, people fail to realize, right? Who's the coach? Outside of Tony Romo, who did Jason Garrett develop as a quarterback? And one can argue that Jason Garrett had nothing to do with the development process of Tony Romo, and that was still Bill Belichick, but Bill Parcells' doings and Sean Payton. We have to stop looking at our players as elite. Dak, Coop, Tank, especially Zeke were good players, but got paid like top 3 players. I blame JJ. Coop was due for a payday, and he got what he deserved as far as his market rate. Tank got what his market value was at the time as well. Dak Prescott, fortunately, unfortunately, he got what he deserved as far as his market value. Right? That's just how the market is. And if the Cowboys really wanted to move on from Dak Prescott, maybe Tank, Coop, they had no justification for that, right? He saved the franchise. He definitely gave Jason Garrett an extra year, right? But they got what their market rendered. Mark, that's what happened. If you stay in your housing community and your housing community is $200,000 per house, you'll get mad at the moon and the sun if your neighbors sell their house for $40,000 on the market. They're going to depreciate all of your house value, right? You're going to say, hold, wait a minute. We can't sell this house at $40,000. It's going to hurt the market value of everybody else's house. He got to get what the market value is. What's the value of the house? It's appraised at $215, $230. Well, we're going to go with that appraisal price. That's economics. Quarterbacks the same way. His agent, Todd France, can't be looking at this deal in situations saying, yeah, I get it, right? But I can't fall on the sword with that. Now, if Dak Prescott is representing himself, maybe. But he got an agency that he falls upon, and let them do that. No self-person that's accused of a crime that they know that they didn't do and don't have the knowledge and the skill set to say, well, hey, when they go to court, I'm going to represent myself because I believe I'm 100% innocent, Your Honor. They're going to say, well, get you a lawyer. Don't self-incriminate yourself because there are things that you just don't know. And fans are sitting there yelling, hey, Dak, you got Sleep Number. Dak, you got the yogurt commercial. They can be gone just like that. just put it. Dak Prescott's salary from 2016 to 2019. He got paid $450,000. 17, he got paid $540,000. 2018, he got paid $630,000. His biggest payday was in 2019, $2 million. My quick math tells me that that's a total of $3 million. And the Cowboys couldn't figure it out during this time frame. What do you think that they need to figure out now? And this is me not being a Dak Prescott apologist. But how, if I'm representing him as an agent, how can I tell him, hey, man, you was the fourth round draft pick, not overall pick, and not even the first guy that's picked in the fourth round. But this is what I'm going to tell you. Listen to Jerry Jones and take the discount, man. You're not worthy of 40, nor 35 million, nor $25 million. You're not worth it, man. If I'm Dak, I'm saying you're fired, bro. Now, the Cowboys had a sweet spot right after the 2017 year. Let me put the records. 13-3, 16, 9-7, 2017, 10-6, 2018, and 8-8 in 2019. Cowboys' sweet spot was pretty much in between 17 and 18. You extend to him now and say, hey, I got $25 million on the table. I bet you my bottom dollar. He will sit there and say, man, $25 million? Shoot, where can I sign? So don't put it back on the quarterback. Put it on the owners, the front office. I digress.
To contender status. I don't believe it. I've never seen him do it, and I don't believe he can do it. I hope to be proven wrong. Now, maybe Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb both elevate. Maybe CeeDee becomes that guy that we wanted to see more of last year, and Gallup, takes over for that true number two. Mm-hmm. And they're more than fine, but that's my worry right now. And by the way, remember that topic in the comments from Dak about wanting input?
Yeah.
What are you thinking if you're Dak Prescott this morning?
Maybe this is his input.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
But if Dalton Schultz is gone, who Dan Orlovsky says is his favorite target, if Dalton Schultz and Amari Cooper are gone, what's that say about Dak Prescott's input? Which I and the majority, a lot of Tolos said he hasn't earned the right to have that type of input based upon their success level. But that's a big story throughout the league. QB input, we're just usually talking about Rodgers, Brady, and Russell Wilson. But Dak said, yeah, of course, like anyone, I'd like to have a say.
He said Rodgers, Brady, and Russell Wilson. They deserve to have their input. Now, Brady, for dog sure deserve to have his input. He said, hey, I want my tight end, Gronkowski. Make it happen. He told Chris Godwin, you didn't have to give me number 12, but I appreciate it. I want you to be here. Because he was number 12 before he got there, right? He deserved that, but he got 7 rings. Could have had more. Now, Aaron Rodgers, his input, I think he have no input. He absolutely don't. He don't. But do he deserve to have an input? Yeah, maybe. I'm quite sure he would have said, hey, give me some weapons instead of drafting a quarterback to replace me, right? They drafted Love, whatever that guy's name, right, to replace him. He's a first-round draft pick. So we go back and forth of saying, hey, who deserve, who don't deserve. But in actuality, I think one year Troy Aikman said, hey, I really want this tight end. And he didn't even make it. Out of Troy Aikman had the input and they drafted the guy and everything. They called Troy Aikman to make the input. On a draft selection, the Cowboys did that. They drafted him. You guys remember? Dude, I don't know. That probably goes too far. Let me see if I can pull it up. And Troy deserved it. He had 3-time Super Bowl. Made a draft selection. I don't know if he can pull it up. They probably don't have it. I had to find the name of that guy. Some of y'all football officials, y'all would know it. LaFleur. Was it David LaFleur? Yeah. They brought him in. It didn't work out. But neither here nor there. This is an overall team concept. And if a player say, hey, this is who I really prefer to do, or this is what I like, then you can take his advice from it, but scale it back a little bit. That's just how this thing's supposed to be. If this is Ryan Quinn, appreciate you. If Coop does leave, I hope he goes to Cleveland and balls out. Shout out to you, man, but it is what it is. I really don't like him going to Cleveland in that cold weather out there and different type of environment. I think they had some good options for him. I think L.A. Rams could be an option for him, believe it or not. Eagles, that could be an option. Or the Washington Commanders. They talking about taking a good look at him. And news broke earlier today that the Washington Commanders offered the Seattle Seahawks multiple first-round draft picks to pick up Russell Wilson. Shout out to you, Jason Garrett. He says Aikman had 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, career average, laugh out loud. But it is what it is. I feel a different era of football. Very true about market, brother. Law, but Zeke wasn't Zeke of the old. Tank sack were dropping. Gallup only had 1,150 yards and 8 touchdowns, and JJ overvalued him. We got to wait and see what Gallup, they're going to pay Gallup or what have you. They are trying to prioritize Gallup over. Let me see where I got that article at. They are trying to prioritize Gallup over. Right there. No, I just seen it. Let's see, Dallas Cowboys News. Appreciate y'all. And it was somewhere right around here. Yeah. Gallup in discussions. Nah, I flew around and exit out of that topic there. Let's listen to more of these guys, though. Appreciate y'all for jumping in. Thank you for the donation there, though, by the way. Appreciate you, Mark.
It was just a side topic someone brought up if these guys are gone.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have any input, and that would be, that would be understandable. Maybe he does, and maybe this is what he wanted.
Maybe. I mean, Amari did complain about his targets. Amari did say, get me the ball in the red zone and on third down. I don't know whether that was directed at Kellen. I don't know whether that was directed at Dak or both. A question I would love to, you know what, with Amari Cooper, the great thing about Amari, you don't got to hook him up to a lie detector. He'll tell you.
He will.
Does Amari Cooper think that Dak Prescott has maximized his abilities?
Appreciate you, Too Cool. And let's talk about this. The only way we cut Cooper, Cowboys must draft a wide receiver first or second round. Gallup is not reliable. This move leave us with the only one healthy starting wide receiver, which will be CeeDee Lamb. Did CeeDee Lamb he missed one game, did he? Or he played all 17 games? It could be in it, and that's youthfulness too, right? With CeeDee Lamb. I think it was because of C19 or something like that with Lamb. Too Cool, appreciate you. It was David LaFleur. Appreciate you. Alvin G, appreciate you. Let me see if I can pull up. just for reference points. Bam. David LaFleur. DeSoto on, huh? Him. Let me see if I can find any article in that. Taking pride in blocking the Dallas Cowboys. Let me see. David LaFleur. All right. Well, I have to do that on another day. That's too much. All right, but Lamb had a concussion, right? Okay, KD. Yeah. So it was the Chiefs game, and he missed the second game, right? Who we played after the Chiefs. So he got the concussion midway in that game. I think, it was a badly thrown situation by Dak Prescott, by the way. And he landed awkwardly, and then he missed out the next game. Coop is not reliable. This is from Terrence Brown. I feel you. Don't forget about Simi. I feel you. Lamb hasn't made the next step yet to be considered number one. All right, so this is my talking points on this. When is the draft, Cowboy Nation? He missed the Raiders game. Appreciate you. Thank you. Shout out to you, Albert Smith. So, if you can't tell Coop to throw the ball to himself, when is the draft? When is the day of the draft, Cowboy Nation? Who got the date of the draft? The NFL draft. Because free agent time for your mind starts on March the 13th. Right? Let me see. Nobody has the date of the draft. Let me see. All right, so hold on. Y'all bear with me. God dog it. NFL draft 2022. Okay. April the 28th. This is the big problem for us right here. April the 28th. Appreciate y'all, man. Draft date. Our biggest problem to this whole thing right here, Cowboy Nation, April the 28th being the date of the draft, Amari Cooper money, far as guarantees, kick in on March the 20th. Write that down. March the 20th is the date that we got to do something with Amari Cooper. If not, we'll be put in that same bubble like we did last season from Jalen Smith. Because you could have saved I believe it was $12 million if you cut him before his time frame. But if you let him play into the season, you will have to eat that dead money. But the Cowboys was in that middle place. They didn't know who they was going to draft in the draft, right? They didn't know a Parsons was going to be there. And think about it. We was razor blade thin at linebackers at that point. And Jalen Smith, they was in that middle place. Jerry Jones said that Jalen Smith was the cornerstone of the defense at that time, before the draft. So we didn't have a crystal ball. Now, fast forwarding to 2022 now, March the 13th is a very pivotal day because that's the opening of free agency. And they're going to do just like what we see from most teams. They're going to look into this draft and they're going to say to their star receivers or receivers that kind of long in the tooth, that they kind of hesitant on. They're saying, like, that Garrett Wilson did look good. You know, Pickens, he did look good running that route. That Chris from D, Ohio, they ran a 4.26, but really a 4.32, whatever. I mean, I really got high hopes for him. And then that's when they're going to look into this situation. And Stacy says razor thin now. Law of the linebacker room is razor thin. It is. It's super thin. Razor blade thin. And now you're trying to say, look, this is what you're trying to say to yourself. Eddie Cruz says, bye-bye, Coop. You're right. And the Grim Gamer, the 40-yard dash mean nothing. I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me see if I can pull this up. Come on, computer. Get with me. Work with me, baby. Yeah. Go back right here. Yeah, we're going to go back right here. We're going to pull up the wide receivers. And we're going to go through the 40-yard dash. Yards. Of all time. John Ross, 4.22. Is he a legend out there, Cowboy Nation? I think he played for the Giants, right? 4.2. 2. Marquise. Was it Marquez? Goodwin. You know what I'm saying? Not Godwin, but Goodwin. 4.27. Henry Ruggs. Hope all is well with his family and everything. Roll Tide, right? 4.27. Jacoby Ford. 4.28. J.J. Nelson. Do these names ring a bell to you guys? As dominant wide receivers. Darius Haywood Bay. He was the guy that drafted right before Dez, right? Paris Campbell. 4.31. Andy Isabella. Who likes Cinderella, huh? Now, I think that the jury is still out on him. He ain't nobody to sneeze at. Curtis Samuel, 4.31. Will Fuller, who is a free agent, by the way, a 4.32. And Calvin Austin, who ran that the other day, it looked like he ran a 4.21 or something, baby. Brandon Cooks, he cooked it up for a minute. You guys get what I'm saying with these numbers? Now, DK Metcalf, he up here. 4.33, that boy fast. Tavon, Big Tay. And let me see if I can just pull it up for all, like all. Let's see. I think this is for all. Chris Johnson, y'all see him up there. We don't even know. What team did Dre go to? He went to the Raiders or somebody? Archer? Let me see. We really not seeing anything of no. Look, I got Orlando Scandrick, baby. Orlando Scandrick, baby. He up there. 4.32. I'm looking at all of these Trey Wayne and things. Okay, he up there with 4.31. So yeah, what the guy said, 40 times don't mean nothing. Do y'all see a Hall of Famer somewhere? I'm looking for a Hall of Famer. Chris Johnson, he's a Pro Bowler. You know. Oh my gosh. Did he rush for 2,000 yards one year? Law, appreciate you too, cool, for school. Appreciate you, man. Law, how will we win the Super Bowl with the current projections the Cowboys are publicizing? We are always taking a step back. Please explain how we are Super Bowl contenders next year with the projected moves. The projected moves is any given Sunday, man, and I don't know. This team can be red hot. I can't castrate and sell it this team. We play in the NFC East. Looking at the roster, are the Giants better than the Cowboys right now? Looking at the situation at the Washington football team or the Washington Commanders now. On paper, we just talking about on paper. And even without our weapons, you think we're going to lose to the Washington Commanders, to the Eagles? and not make it to the playoff, I think that our division, the Cowboys, I still pick our Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and whoever they depending on or thinking that they're going to trade, well, not trade or pick up in the draft. I think we are still the better team in the NFC East. Appreciate you, Miss Scott and Pro. CD drop balls, homie. Who had more drops, CD or Debo Samuels? That's the narrative. See, that's narrative talk right there, right? Who had more drop balls, Jamar Chase or CD? Narrative. But it only stick to Cowboy players because they talk about Cowboy players on the 4-ladder, 3-ladder, and we got 50,000 YouTubers, right? They talk about the Cowboys. Everybody else, you probably can't find a Jets YouTuber or a Facebook person, right?
Bassick just called me in the break. He goes, you think Amari regrets not signing the Washington deal? Remember? We let Amari Cooper get to free agency. We played around with that. Mm-hmm. And Washington came in with a higher offer. And Mike's like, I just wonder, because Amari would be in a better financial situation because Washington probably is not cutting him as it looks like or sounds like Dallas is going to do.
No.
Man, my thing is with this whole notion about should the Cowboys, should Amari Cooper regret the talk tracks of him going to the Washington team? It would save us a whole bunch of headaches, right? About this going back and forth. Too Cool says Super Bowl law. We can't talk about the NFC East. The Commanders traded for Russell Wilson, who wants to win the NFC East. We equate Super Bowl chances to winning the NFC East. Well, I'm just equating Super Bowl chances. You got to win your division first and get out of your division, get to the playoffs. And the playoffs, you got to be ready for the moment. And put it like this, and I'm saying it, and I'm not downgrading what you're saying, Too Cool. I'm not. I'm flat out not. The 49ers versus the L.A. Rams, the 49ers beat the L.A. Rams 6 consecutive times. The Rams under Sean McVay never beat Kyle Shanahan, 49ers, right? And the 49ers held the L. Tart ball bouncing off of his hands. But the L.A. Rams lifted the Lombardi Trophy. The number 1 seed in the National Football League was, out of the NFC, was 3 years in a row, 13-3. Green Bay Packers. A home game in their elements. And we have more Cowboy fans defending that team than our own. Saying it was a blizzard, it was below zero, what have you, and the better thrower of the ball couldn't make it happen. He threw an 18.7 QBR or something like that. What were his chances? He was the Super Bowl favorite for 3 years in a row. It's been 12 years. That's a long time. Almost half of the time we've been waiting for us to get back to glory time, right? So the Super Bowl is a very fickle situation. And if I had a crystal ball and I can tell you guys who's going to win the Super Bowl for the year, the 2022 season, I'll be a mighty rich man. But I don't know. But the name of the game is to get into the playoffs and win your playoff games. And the Cowboys for the last 27 years, regardless of who the quarterback is or the running back or the wide receivers, number 1 seed or not, have not done that. But I want to tell y'all beautiful people right now that's listening, because I supposed to been off this live 30 minutes ago. But I appreciate you guys. I'm going to tell you guys right now that the team that just lifted that Lombardi trophy up, that team is not light years ahead of the Cowboys. They're not. They're not. As dominant as Aaron Donald is, we got a dominant Parsons. And as sticky as the coverage supposedly be for Jalen Ramsey, we got a Diggs. And if you can go back and forth with me with Matthew Stafford and his numbers, Dak numbers is pretty much right there neck and neck with his. Now, Cooper Kupp and all of that, I ain't finna go all the back and forth with you guys on that. Cooper Kupp is that dog over there. But we are not, collectively speaking, light years away from the Rams. But they had a better philosophy. They wasn't nervous, and they had a better scheme. They knew that they had to face up against a team that they lost to. They was 0-6 against the 49ers. And you don't hear the coaching staff saying, hey, we were nervous. They're just prepared. Too Cool, appreciate you. Law, look, this show now brought to you by Too Cool. Appreciate you. We part of the win in the East. We need rings. We should take a page from the Rams book. We just have to be the best fans in the land, and we are loyal to our team, but our owner is not loyal to us. Yeah, that owner loyal to the money. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Jason Garrett says, appreciate you, Jason. Give Dak Mark Stepnowski and his center, as center, and Emmitt Smith as his running back, and Moose Johnson, then we will speak. It won't work either, believe it or not. You got to give him Jimmy Johnson as well. You got to give him the coach. And that, my friend, is the difference between the Rams. Well, it's what I'm trying to paint the picture. I know I'm long-winded with it, but that's the difference between the Rams and the 49ers and the Cowboys coaching. Their decision-making. Right? I just talked to you guys about Deebo Samuels. 12 drops, 4 fumbles. If he played with silver and blue on right now, everybody be ready to kick him off the bridge. Because I'm quite sure in that game, if you just swap them, you put Deebo Samuels on the Cowboys and you put CeeDee Lamb on the 49ers, quite sure they'd figure out ways to give CeeDee Lamb the ball. Deebo had 3 targets, 3 attempts basically, in the game that we played against the 49ers, and 10 rushing attempts. 10. Not 1, not 2, but 10. That's coaching. That's them saying, okay, we ain't finna allow his drops to be a factor in this. We're not finna put him in situations that put the team at harm. We're going to utilize our weapons to our strength. But if the Cowboys were to have Deebo on this particular team, he would have had, quote-unquote, 3 targets for 30 yards. No rushing attempts. That's the situation. Takes 53. So it's all about strategy. It's all about scheme, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate y'all for jumping in for this episode. My name is Law Nation. If you like what you heard, hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Likes. That helps this growth of this Law Nation Sports, and I really appreciate you guys. My opinion, my thoughts of this. Oh, let me just play the rest of this audio before we get up out of here.
No, he would not be happier, I don't think, in Washington. He has nobody to throw him the ball there.
See fire comments.
What's the
fire
RJ Choppy
in the chat.
philosophy? He's getting $20 million.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying like you'd be happier. Would you be happier?
And a lot of people are happier, making more money.
It's yeah. I mean, look, it's
Would
what,
it be
$2
happier
million more.
football wise? Of course not. But would it be happier? I mean, you could make the argument that was a better deal for him to take.
It was, but now he'll make more money.
And it is what it is. Amari Cooper, there's still hope. His agency can literally look into this thing and say, all right, we'll take the doggone we'll take the pay cut. We'll restructure the contract again. The reason why I say again, because there was more money on the table when he was supposed to go to Washington. They put money on the table, and he said, nah, I'm good. I like playing with the silver and blue. And if you listen to CeeDee Lamb and you listen to all of the other wide receivers, they would say, yeah. They would say, yeah. We need Amari Cooper. We like Amari Cooper. And I'm not trying to be Amari Cooper apologist or what have you. But the problem is the Cowboys fool around and be wishy-washy with this stuff and do this, and I'll be talking about flipping some tables over. If they allow Amari Cooper to go beyond March the 20th because they in the middle and somebody don't have the cojones to go ahead and cut the man, and then they go into this season to 2022 with this cloud, you already smeared this man's name. And you go into this season, and then you decide to cut him after you made your draft selections, that really going to make me mad right there. Because at the end of the day, I get it. That's what they did with Jalen. And that's why we eating $7 million worth of dead money. You let the man go all the way. You should have just been cut him. Don't let him go into the season through training camp, building camaraderie and all of the other stuff. And then say, it's business. Nah, you figure it out. You should have been putting in trade flavors then. But I believe that there's a thing called karma, man, and I think that that's still a real thing. You got to be smarter, Cowboys. And that's one of the elements that we don't do good at. It's trade negotiation. We don't do good. Now, as far as player evaluation, we good at that. But we hold on to players so long that we get no value off of the trade situation because we done already leaked stuff too much. It'd have been nice if I wake up one morning and out of the blue, we hear stuff like this. News just in, Amari Cooper is traded for a second round and a possible conditional third round draft pick due to, updated news, the second round is adjustable back to a first depending on what he do to such and such team that he's traded for. Instead of, we're reporting live out of Oxnard now that the team is deciding to cut. Yes, I said cut Amari Cooper because he's unhealthy in the locker room. He causes a great divide. Good grief. Gene, appreciate you. I shared the content in Cowboys group. Thank you. Appreciate you, Gene. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. You get a lion roar for that one. Yeah, appreciate you. That's a good one right there. Karma is real, yeah. So, there's ways you can handle this, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all. That was my stance on Dak Prescott, believe it or not. Why put that man on a franchise tag for $31 million in 2020? Franchise tag, he was the first quarterback ever in the history of the Dallas Cowboys to be placed on the franchise tag, I believe. Oh, my gosh, man. You know, why do that, man? Why you put him on a franchise tag? He get injured, and then you go through the whole next season, and then you put the man on a franchise tag again, and you drag it all the way through June, and then you say, okay, we give him the world's biggest contract ever, and left and divided everybody's thoughts on Dak Prescott. Divided everybody. It was like news reporting in from Oxnard now. Dak Prescott signed a $160 million contract, $122 million guaranteed. You had people sitting there like, oh, man, he ain't worth that. Left and right. And the man trying to throw himself back into this mercy to compete against Garrett, Gilbert, and who else was out there, right? Throwing. And now everybody say, hey, he better win the Super Bowl now. He got paid a $160 million contract. He better win. I'm like, bull sugar. Why would you even do that? All you had to do was, if you felt froggy about the situation, let them test the market. Put a tender on them, a first and a second. So if any team like the Colts, I believe they really wanted to get him for 35, the year we franchise tag him for 31, we would have had 2 first-round draft picks, and we wouldn't be talking about this. It's been a moot point at this point. We'd be talking about the Dallas Cowboys drafted Sam Howell or Kenneth Pickett, you know, whoever that guy's name. But y'all love this drama for your mama, and you fool around and put that franchise tag on him, and people start looking at the money. Miss the meat, worry about the potatoes. It is what it is. But I appreciate y'all, man, so much. That's been my time. I thank you guys. Be sure to hit that like, share this content, let a friend or a neighbor know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Let's go, baby. We up out of here. Twin Empire. I see you. Let me know if you're free later on tonight. We can do a late night show if you're free. Appreciate y'all. One love out of Dallas, Texas, Law Nation Sports Studio. You tuning in to one of the greatest, baby. At least I try to be. Let's go, baby. Thank y'all for donating. Coach Marv, you should get your jersey. I believe the guy from FedEx said on Sunday or Monday. Cedric Batts, you should get your Cowboys artifact, I believe, since you right there in Hewitt, Texas. I don't even know where Hewitt, Texas is at. But you should get your artifact, I believe, in the next few days since it's close. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to you, Peter. Yeah. They say ain't no party like a cowboy party. Yeah. Let's go. Let's roll with it. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the Bears. Let's go. All right. I'm glad we did that event. Shout out to Cowboys Experience. Atlanta week. We beat the bejesus out of the Atlanta Falcons. That's Kenny the Shark right there. Let's go. Kenny. That's Noah Brown. Appreciate everybody. Turn me up. Appreciate you. David says the best sports talk show. Appreciate you. Pound for town. Here we go. Let's go. All the haters lean forward.
Oh, no. He needs some milk.
Let's go. Shout out to Jason Garrett. Come on. That's right. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. 4, 3, 2, yep. Watching all the way to this point, and you had not hit that like button,
shame.
shout out to Stephen Wine. It's all speculation for the nation right about now. You're right. You had not shared this content. Don't like this style of music,
You must be out of your goddamn mind. Shame.
If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?